So I'm immediately jumping back, and I'm going to cast a spell. I just want to let you know right now, I'm not taking a moment's hesitation.
What is the spell that you're intending to cast?
Start making these swirling globe shapes in his hands, and he's going to say, "Oh, great hand, I cast the sphere of imprisonment. Elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. And I choose the fairy. Put like a nice tight, around like that. I don't know if that LV dude is a fairy type, but definitely around the she-bitch."
Do we recognize the Thin Man?
No. You've never seen him before in your life. He's got a robe like a robe of office. It's very nice. He does have a sword at his belt. He's not unarmed.
I'm going to keep the glove on and take it in. We'll see what happens.
We're rolling for initiative.
I'm falling back.
Does that prevent her from moving?
It prevents her from leaving the sphere. She would have to save versus spells, which probably isn't that hard.
Yeah. You got an 11. That means I got to look it up.
We've got to do something about these people. We've been chasing them forever. And if we have to run back down the stairs like cowards to save our lives, then I'm ready to go first level on this thing, okay? I want to drag you down with me. We're all going back to first level, so we're not going home.
I might be able to slink away.
There is a fiendish look and a focused air about this snail cleric right now. He is all game face. By the way, what is Toph doing in that picture that you drew, Jay? I just want to know.
Well, he was leaning on his sword, and then, of course, you and Mark got a hold of it and turned something beautiful into something ugly. So what else can I say?
If he wasn't looking down, I'd have been okay with it. All right, back off the coffee. We got games to play.
11 is not high enough for her to save. She goes to leap at you and is meshed in this thing and is really pissed off.
It's a sphere, so where it hits the floor, there's these hand symbols that are just moving all around and glowing.
Sounds a little bit lechy to me.
It's just people who are different than you, Toph.
Fantasy is the playground of the inappropriate.
At this point, I'll kind of work my way around the perimeter and try to around and behind them, or are they near an adjacent wall? What does that look like exactly?
Well, it's kind of curved like a lot of these rooms, like a kidney. It's shaped like a kidney.
Just be to start working my way against the wall, get behind the group, play it safe this round, and just position myself against a back wall there, and then wait for my moment.
He's trying to hide behind any furniture that might be around.
What do we got for furniture?
You mentioned there were windows. Maybe they have some hanging.
Right behind him, yeah, on the other side of the room behind them. Dorvit are conspicuously out of the slanting rays of the sun.
Okay, so he's going to try to sneak on the other side of where Barry's going and maybe try to reach those curtains to open them. He's going to go hiding, so if it takes some time, it's okay.
Okay, Lumen, you casting your spell, so I guess we catch Daydream in mid-leap across the room.
Trying to envelop them both. Is that trap captured by the sphere?
No, Daydream has the initiative. You can either get Daydream or Dorvit. Which one do you want? I heard Daydream. She's leaping across the room and has initiative. You are not going to catch them standing together.
Okay, cool. No, it's just her, just the she-bitch.
Dorvit, he's got his hand on his sword and he calls out, "Don't fall into doing Farthingnay's bidding. You're doing his dirty work for him."
Is it straight to me already? Okay.
Yep.
One sneaking off around the side, one just sneaking, and you've cast your spell. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to I don't need to watch you back, because it's got that bloody great big snail shell on it, isn't it? So they should be...
Yeah, he's always bringing...
I have more spells, Toph. Do not let them get to me.
I'm going to take up a defensive stance with my autumn sword and my shield in front of, basically, next to Lumen and just hold off. Go on guard, if there's such a thing.
The Thin Man casts a spell. Wisp and tendrils extend from his fingers as he moves them as if in a wave. Gossamer webs wrap around Lumen and Toph. Roll your saving throws.
We've seen this before.
Is this versus spells?
Yes.
Right. Spot on, 16.
Gossamer, wispy tendrils pass by you and around you. Lumen, you are wrapped up tightly bound by these. They solidify, much like you've captured Daydream in your sphere. The Thin Man has wrapped you in gossamer strings.
That blows.
So it seemed there was some hesitation to just go full violence here. What are we thinking?
I think at the moment the vampire's not attacking us, is he?
No, he's addressing you and saying that you're don't fall into Farthing's plan. Don't do his dirty work for him.
Don't let me get us way off track, but maybe it's a good time we should have discussed it first, is like, what are we doing here? What led us here? And like, what was the last thing we chose to go investigate? So aside from just having a previous conflict with Dorvit when we chose to explore the palace for Farthigny, I don't know if we have like a great reason to just slaughter them outright, unless you guys are just into that. I mean, maybe I'll just pause there for other thoughts.
The only slight issue that there is obviously for Toth, is that he is a paladin and his deity is kind of a bit funny about the undead in general. That's the only thing that he would be hesitant with.
If you're into it, I'm good. Let's peel them and make cloaks from their skin. I'm good. Whatever we need to do.
It's actually straight off the tap that he's kind of holding back himself.
Okay, Dorvit's got the initiative. He claims that if you slay him, you doom Averone to being overrun by the undead. And Averone will be plunged into darkness. Daydream goes, Farthingny, what does my brother have to do with any of this?
Lumen's going to just say, you are an abomination, and I'll take my chances with the army of the dead to see you in a cold, ashen grave.
Okay.
That's me next, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yep.
How far away is the pointy-eared fella? I'm going to basically move across there rather rapidly and stick the sword up against his throat.
Okay, he's not going to stand still, so...
I'm not trying to attack him per se. It's more a drop the spell kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess he's going to defend himself. He pulls out his sword and goes, you pale, pasty beings have laid around the true force of this land for far too long. And attacks you with his longsword. He missed just to jump initiatives here. So now it's Veridel and Daydream. Veridel, since you're invisible, what would you like to do?
I think I'll position myself behind Dorvit, but I'm still just going to wait, meaning I'll stay against the wall, and I'll just make sure I'm kind of adjacent to have a straight line to him. This feels like a really odd interaction, like the threat or, whether it's true or not. Does that not matter to anybody?
Lumen's just going to shout out and say, the bitch is contained. You can enter at will. Slay this fiend.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think Lumen's kind of been a pain here. You're really annoyed about having been killed previously, aren't you?
I don't know. I thought that we were one on the whole hate undead thing. But if you want to, whinge about it, man, that's a British word.
Don't you throw the deep magic back at me. I was there when it was.
Carry on, gentlemen. You guys seem to be trying to find each other here. Reach into the depths of each other's soul and understand the heart and will of the party. Continue.
Look, I don't mind stabbing things. I just don't know that I want to reveal where I'm at right now with 2 out of the 3 of them not engaged.
So what you got? You got Lumen frothing at the mouth. You got Toth starting to drool. Daydream is pushing against the screen that you have her trapped in. She says she's going to rip your arms off like a butterfly for this, and she's really mad at Lumen for containing her. Dorvit on the other side.
I've got to be honest, he's throwing me off with that. He's not making any actual attempts to attack in any way, shape, or form.
No, he's trying to get you to put down your arms and not slay him. He claims you're falling into Farthing's hands.
And also implied that bad stuff would happen if he died.
He claims that he's the only one that can prevent Bishop Volan from swallowing Averone into undead darkness.
We met this one.
Yeah, he was at the ball. He was one of the first people to leave.
That's why we didn't hit him. Okay, that's fine.
We ask him about the tainted water, and let's go about our business. They can keep doing undead stuff. I don't know.
He doesn't want to see Bishop Volan overrunning Averone either. He proposes to kill Volan and close the way to Averone from his native land forever, if you just leave him and Daydream alone. Daydream is Dorvit's Lumen. She's all ready to fight. She's all ready to go and throw down. She's yelling that if you harm Dorvit, she'll burn Averone down to the ground. Blah, blah, blah. She's a little high-strung.
Just a little.
So they seem invested in each other. His offer is to withdraw Fairy from its footprint in Averone, and he'll help you knock off Vullen and the threat from his native land of a nation of vampires. Their eye is on Averone for food, as a food supply.
Can we have this conversation in a game context?
We are. I'm trying to force this conversation in game context.
I'll just sit there and froth.
Who wants to lead negotiations? Lumen, you seem to be talking to Blue Streak.
I'm pretty unintelligible by now. Obviously, nobody's listening to me, and I'm just speaking in a weird language nobody knows. We've been chasing this guy for a long time.
Why have you?
Towards him, yeah. We have been pointed towards this guy frequently now. I don't think he had anything to do with the Duvanku specifically. Farthinghay was pointing us that way.
That was that crazy, the three who are one. He says, that's Hazardale. That's crazy Hazardale and her deal.
And it's not like Farthinghay is our boy, right? Like he put like a used magic to prevent us from leaving until we did his bidding, which involved going after this guy. Fuck that guy.
What do you think, Gabriel?
When you said leaving Averone, can go back to Valatar?
Unfortunately, I do not know the path back there, but I swear on my knightly honor, if you aid me against Vullen, I will see your way back to Valatar.
The point he won't engage me fully in combat now, or is he just getting ready to defend himself when I get there?
Took a swing, and then he's hearing Dorvit assault to cease, so he steps back and is in a defensive position, like you had taken earlier, listening to the man of the house.
I mean, that's not enough. I mean, those are empty words.
We're not in a bad position for doing some negotiating. I just keep the pointy-eared one at bay.
I wait for the moment, and then I strike. I'm not the one that's typically leading conversations. But out of game, I think it just comes back to, what do we want? We sought out to seek out the water. I don't think we have to take a side amongst either of these factions. Unless we want to. I'm just saying I don't feel like we have a lot of reason to be loyal to Farthinghay and or to really want to kill these people. Let's get the water clean. Let's decide what we want.
I'm with that. To be honest, yeah. I mean, there's various ways of stopping the undead, and this is one of those ways. As far as I'm concerned, I'm stopping them from spreading their taint.
You mean you're believing this vampire?
Made no moves to attack so far. This guy could quite easily kill us.
His words are his attack. He's a manipulator. You want to talk about people who control things in the world?
His only desire is to be the one true king of Fairy. And daydreams like that brat run the gears of Fairy. How dare you even think of that?
Fairies are not abominations. Vampires are.
But only one of these two people basically imprisoned us with magic until we did his bidding.
Well, Farthinghay opened up the way for us to slay some baddies.
Dorvit says, I've been here 600 years. 600 years for this time to guide and be the vanguard and lead Bishop Vullen's undead forces to conquer this realm. And in that time, and then he holds up dramatically to Daydream spinning like a piñata, have fallen in love with the Fury, which is Daydream, and he will do anything to protect her, including closing the gates between Fairy and Earth. You want to clean up the water? He has no love for the three who are one. He'll happily direct you where you can chase her further, since you've totally fucked her plans.
Is she the one that's actually caused the pollution, though?
Yes! She was trying to beat us all. She was trying to beat everyone in the game and come out on top, and she thought she could use the Duvanku beneath the ground to do that. But Farthinghay has a way of making things that he doesn't want to see happen, not happen.
Yeah, all right, we need to take a minute, guys. Just completely out of character now. What do we want to do? I know Lumen wants to kill everything.
I stand fast. I'm in full attack mode here. I mean, what else are we doing in these worlds? We're not banging around. If we get rid of one, we'll take on Farthinghay.
Oh boy,
these guys are not nice people, right? We're the good guys.
There's a lot of not nice people. Let's look beyond this. One step beyond this. Either we ruthlessly kill or be killed in this room, or we go clean up the water and chase down the 3 witches who are one. Is it just going after the next not nice person? Is that the motivation, or what? You might have any thoughts there? Like, I know the Rom'Myrians may or may not want to get back at some point.
Not really. I mean, to be fair, Toth's only real thing would be to find a bit more of a foothold for his deity. That's kind of what he's looking for. But that's what he's been told to do. Ideally, stand Toth in the gateway, watch him get killed in the first round.
Nation of vampires. Let's just think about that phraseology. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's rifts all over again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They're always hungry for food. Funny how they depopulated the human population on their native world. It's like overforesting or something.
My last commentary is just going to be around, even if we assume that we would be successful in this fight in this room and we slaughter them, it feels like it almost closes more doors than it would, actually reward us.
So we need to get back to the. Do we need to get back to the palace then?
Dorvit says the clock on Volan is ticking. The 600 years are up. The plan is coming into play. The 3 who are one, she's chump change at this point, claims Dorvit. We're talking realms here, not scrappy peasant hog swallow hamlets.
Can't trust you. That's the problem. Can't trust you.
Yeah, he's twisting his words to his benefit.
Don't trust my words, trust the power of love. I will give up anything to have Daydream and myself live our endless millennials in peace.
Just leave.
Volan has always suspected me, and I will have no peace unless Volan's power is shattered. Bishop was concerned that the loss of the Black Beast as an ally in the upcoming invasion, didn't that throw it all in disarray? And Dorvit was like, oh, no, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. The thing they were having discussion at dinner.
I think we also were attacked by some of the bishop's ghoulish goons. There was like this room that had like 4 or 5.
Yeah, they were ghouls. They were Order of the Maggot. That was his escort, the bishop's escort.
So his people did attack us as well.
No, they offered you to sit down and have dinner and talk about feats of valor.
Let me correct myself. We politely declined an invitation to dine with them, and they responded by attacking us.
There you go. Very well. That is on tape. It gets cut off a bit, and it's bad audio, but that fight is on tape.
Is he asking us for help?
Yes.
Providing access to Volan?
He is willing to go with you.
Portals to another realm?
It means going back to, what's the name? He calls it the land the gods refuse to see. It's an ancient, slow, quiet land with slumbering undead beneath a pale blue sun.
They're always going to need living ones to feed upon.
His proposal is like a commando squad. We go to kill Volan and also to smash the Mirror of Memory, which is what he's going to use to gate the soldiers of undead through. So one, smash the gate, but he sure would love to take Bishop Volan out so he knows that it's just kind of like insurance that him and Daydream won't be bothered.
Let me get this straight. Bishop Volan was his ally.
Yeah.
Do the calculus, man. Let's say 1 + 1 = we're dead. And he wants us to be allies. What's to say when we've fulfilled our purpose, he doesn't want to kill us? And we're not in a position to kill him.
Well, we did kind of batter him last time a little bit because he ran away, didn't he?
His life's full of chances. I don't know. I think this is the best offer you're going to get. Unless you want to know who was at the Chaos Conclave. I can run down the roster there.
Basically, we're looking at stop the sludge or stop an extra planar invasion or sludge.
He's pitching that the sludge can be dealt with after. You won't have sludge to deal with if you don't have a realm to let the sludge flow through.
If Daydream's just going to be hanging out, why can't she just go fix that up while we're off? Or this guy, like the pointy-eared guy that we don't even know who he is.
Well, he's Daydream's counselor. What does he counsel? Let's get a
Sounds like he's
reaction roll.
about to go counsel on some water sanitation.
The counselor is back in Daydream and telling Dorfit, how can you trust the pale, pasty worms that are humans? They don't even live long enough to remember their own true names. And he retorts back to the counselor, it's the only way to assure your queen will know peace. Counselor, be quiet. You get a twofer. You close the gates between Fairy and the realm the gods refuse to see. Both.
All right, Toth's going to put his sword up. He's not sheathing it. He's putting it up, taking a step back.
It says to Lumen, if you wouldn't mind continuing keeping his bride, his lovely fiancée, bound. She is going to be a disturbance to any further negotiation at this point. Kill them all! Kill them all! Dorvin, what are you doing? Do we have a deal?
Kind of got the casting vote here, Lumen.
You put me in a pretty awkward spot here.
If you help him stop the invasion from the vampire world, we can get somebody to go and sort out the water in the sludge in the water, etc. Dorvit's asked Lumen to retain the spell holding Daydream in place, because otherwise she's going to rip him to pieces. And we're now looking to see whether or not you and Lumen are prepared to negotiate.
The linkage between Averone and Fairy will be closed as well. Dorvit and Daydream want to live in wedded bliss amongst the strange, creepy, crawly bugs of Fairy.
That would also put at risk being able to take our time to find a way to go back and forth between Rom'Myr if we wanted to. Is one of the
land the gods
refuse
refuse to see has a lot of connections. Hence, we've gotten pretty proficient at it in our search for food throughout the universe.
It's a portal nexus, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. So we can make him promise or some. Is there a way that he can hold him to his words? So he can, if we help him here, he will leave this realm with Daydream.
Honey, I need you to calm down right now. I need you to see reason. I want you to listen to me really closely. And they have a conversation. She's on board. Dorvik gives you a little Lumen, like a hand signal, like low, like, don't turn it off.
Okay. We're just going to go down the list. Stu's like, make a deal with a fiend, a blood-sucking fiend. Toth is like, put aside my vows, fiend, blood-sucking fiend. Kree's like, whatever you guys want to make happen is cool. Did I correctly interpret this?
From one point of view, I guess.
If that is the will of the party, so let it be done. And he's going to raise up his hands, sealing his approval or his acquiescence to the plan.
When everyone stops squinting a second later from your bright light, you are all in a different chamber with Dorvit. The room that you were in had a lot of green and shoots and lively, I want to say, sap. It looked healthier than the walls on the ground level. So if you take that and postulate, you must be at least in a very old or a very deep part of the tree and its roots, because it's very deteriorated. The actual earth and dirt coming into the passageway or into the chamber in some spots. And it smells really old and of dead, decaying organic matter. And Dorvit's there, and he says, here is where I have open passage to the land of the gods refuse to see. We'll be coming into the basement of the Sunset Spires, my fortress. I haven't been there in 600 years. I'm not sure what to expect. I can collect any of my my men still loyal to me, and we can head to Bishop Vullen's fort fastness, sneak in, because I know ways into his place, and take care of business. Smash the mirror memory, and if possible, kill Vullen. Does the waving of the hand. You can almost hear the counselor from far away yelling, "No!" like he's echoing it through the roots. It's a dark, bleak chamber on the other side of the opening. Dorvit steps through. He says, "Follow me." You can see him on the other side. He grabs a sconce from in this dreary chamber and throws it outside to you guys.
I'm assuming everything is literally screaming evil on the other side of this hole.
It's a slow scream, though.
Okay, I'll grab the sconce in my shield hand and go through.
Lumen's just scowling, and he'll take up the rear.
All right, everyone take a 5-minute break while I pull out... I got to get another binder of stuff. You remember the shape of the rooms that surrounded the central room where you last saw Jankula and Osa? It was kind of like, I don't know what, I called it a lozenge, I guess, shape.
Yeah, it was like a central circle, wasn't it? And then, oh no, is it a circle?
It was a hexagon or an octagon. Shaped 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 4 lozenge-shaped rooms surrounding a central square.
Yeah.
This room that you enter is the same shape as one of those lozenges. There's just the shape looks familiar. But it is stone. He says we are in the basement of his palace, or the sun, what he calls the Sunset Spires. And Dorvit waves his hand, and at the top of the post, an orb begins to glow in a soft bluish white light. Because I haven't been home in 600 years, so I'm not exactly sure what I will find. And if my memory serves correctly, to get upstairs, you got to travel down the central basement highway, we call it. And I think it's through this door and not far from here. And he walks out the exit of this room into the hallway beyond. The orb is left behind. I mean, he doesn't take the orb on the 8-foot pedestal.
So beyond that archway, it's all dark?
Yeah, but you have a torch lit. It's a 5-foot wide passageway going northwest to southeast. Immediately to the southeast, it goes east.
Which way has he gone? Has he gone northeast or southeast?
He's gone east. The passage southeast quickly turns east, and then you're in a 30-foot wide passageway going north and south. It's littered, this passageway, with... I guess there's some bones. There seems to be pieces of metal. There's a deep well. It ends to the north, and that's where a well is, a hole in the floor. But let's get a roll for the State of the Union.
This was his place?
Yes. He says you're in the basement of his place. And he's walking down this wide hall. Well, is he telling his story? Well, he's been in service of the Pale King for untold millennia, and a war has been creeping across this land. They call it the Slow War. It's a war that's played on weird terms between the belligerent monarchs of this land and their thrall armies, mostly vampires, of course. And then a great big castle construction built below the terraced gardens above. And you'll get a kind of an idea of what we're walking through and the extent of it. Of course, we mostly live down below because the sun is not partial to vampires. We don't like it. But strong magics wrap the realm, and so most days are wrapped in a semi-night where the sun is obscured into a blue light. I'm just looking for a random encounter chart because this is a busy location. And then you're upstairs, and then following along, mapping doesn't become possible because you're moving at a brisk pace this way and that way, twisting through natural caverns and stonework caverns. Catches up to until he knocks on a door. Let's see, go through the door. There's a greeting of another vampire who hasn't seen him in 600 years. They get the lowdown of what's going on. His buddy says that General so-and-so has been put in charge of Sunset Spires. Most of his men have been assigned to the baths. That's what they call the bishop's palace. The baths of Sicard. and only a few of his knights are still here manning the walls, and it's mostly the bishop's men. We need to get out of here anyways. In charge, who's in command? If they see me on the ramparts, maybe they'll rally to us. So the pitch is him and his buddy are going to go to the barracks, and they want you to go to the commander's office, take them hostage. We'll assure that we'll get as many men on our side as possible and take the Sunset Spires.
He wants us to take a vampire hostage.
Yep. He's the bishop's man here in his palace, keeping an eye on things. Yeah, General Paul de Avor. He's a biggin. He's kind of a fatty.
So you want to sneak up on this guy and, capture him?
Yeah, and then bring him to the gatehouse. Once you're in the tower, you'll be able to see where the gatehouse is. And that's where he's intending, after he hits the barracks and gets a squad of loyal men, to reveal himself and declare the Sunset Spires are back under old management.
Well, I'm certainly willing to creep up, to this place. Is the door open? Is it locked? Do we have to, smash it down? Cast a mad spell behind you? Is there, a control panel, or is there, other people there, other sort of creatures?
Where are you currently is in a private apartment of a long-time knight in his service, Lieutenant General Ivas is his name. The guy you want to take hostage is Paul Davor.
Okay. So I'm all for taking the vampire hostage. I've got just a spell, and I think we'll do it. I mean, the sphere of protection, you can't really move that one. That's a sort of like a clutch spell, which I've used on fairies. I've used on King's Guard. I've used it at a variety. I think it might do it. And then we could carry the dude or move him.
Yeah, clutch is probably the better one.
We could go, crowd him into that space and then just tie him up, hold him still, whatever.
And he can't speak with clutch. So. But he does get a saving throw, which, who knows?
He wouldn't be alone also.
Yes, he'll most likely be alone.
So have we got to go through somebody else's
before reaching him?
place to get to him, or what?
You're going to have to go down the rolling hall through the Western Gallery.
Did he tell us what he's going to be doing during this?
He's going to go to the barracks and rally the men that are true to him. Ivas says there's still a company of the Dead Meadow Company is still assigned duty here at the Sunset Spires, and that's one of Dorvit's companies in his army is a cavalry division. They're cavalrymen.
And this guy we're capturing, who is he? Is he an enemy of yours?
Yeah, he's the bishop's man here, assigned to basically be in charge. Since Dorvit's been gone, Bishop has moved his men in and moved most of Dorvit's men to his castle, his fortress, to keep an eye on. Once you go through the Western Gallery, look for the chapel. Where does that take you? He's going to be on the lower floor of the tower, actually. So when you get to the chapel, continue west until you can't go west any further and look for a concealed door, and that is where you'll find him. So he leaves you at the door of the round gallery. You're in a tea room between the bedroom and the round gallery, and he's going east, and he tells you guys you got to go northwest through the archway, and then you're in the round gallery, and keep on going, and you'll be in the rolling hall. Continue west.
Yeah, let's do this thing.
Is it all dark in here? Because, obviously vampires can see in the dark, so they don't need any light. So I'm assuming we're still going to need to maintain the sconce.
There are torches lit in the hall, here and there. Not many.
We can take them. Put them away and take them and use them.
Yeah. Okay, the round gallery. To the west, the passageway, like I said, 20 feet wide, immediately dives to the southwest. You can see into the room to the north because it's so wide. There's stray purple bubbles of various size floating in the air. And across the room, there's a long row of skulls on the fireplace mantle and the ledges around it. The gallery that you're in, there's portraits hanging on this low arch passageway. They're blackened by some kind of moldy decay. There's a heavily corroded suit of plate mail armor.
Don't touch the purple floating spheres at any point. Just keep going.
After a ways, over 100 feet, probably 100 feet. It's hard to keep track exactly. As you come to a worn wooden floor with deep, wide grooves in the middle, and it continues to the west as far as you can see.
So there's something on the floor?
Yeah, the wooden floor here is grooved.
Doesn't look good. Did anyone detect any traps? Who's got some trap.
Worn wooden floor with deep, wide groove in the middle.
Like a drawbridge or something?
No, it's like a U-shaped groove. Wide. 5 feet wide.
Is this the western corridor that we need to go as far to the west as we can until it stops and then look for the secret door? The concealed door, sorry.
You go all this way. You go all the way west, but you're looking for the chapel before you start looking for that western wall to search for the concealed door.
Okay.
Well, Lumen will take his long stick, quarterstaff, sharpened to a nice point, and just sort of tap the floor a little bit gingerly. The wooden floor.
It's a solid wooden floor. It's made out of, planks, and then they're bent to make the groove in the middle and flat on either side of it.
Gotta go to the sides just in case.
You pass 2 open archways on the south wall, and then you come to the end of this hall with a big open archway to the west. And you're looking into a room 50 by 30. Cobwebs and dust have claimed that room. There's 2 crystal chandeliers broken in a corner. Pictures here, but they've been removed from this room, leaving their outlines.
After the wooden floor?
Yep. There's 2 ways out of this room. One to the north, an open archway, and an archway to the south of you in the east wall. You can see bulbous 8-legged shape in the cobwebs. It's actually husks. They're long dead. They're covered in dust.
Reachable, those webs, or they are just too high?
Oh, you could reach up with a weapon like a sword. And
a torch? So we burn those webs.
You could do that. Makes a thick black smoke. You'll want to get out of this room. So you either can go north or east, kind of in a U-turn, through the other archway, which is south of the rolling hall.
So we have not found the chapel yet?
Nope.
So we need to go...
Directions suck.
I think we need to go north.
Do you have a virtual map, Randall, that you could share?
I'm trying to write it. I'm not getting... I mean, I'll share what I have, but I don't think it's awesome.
He mentioned to check for a hidden door once we couldn't go west.
After the chapel.
We haven't reached the chapel yet.
Nope, you haven't seen anything that looks like a chapel yet.
Should we go north?
I would go north. I mean, I don't necessarily want to go back east, unless it circles back around. I mean, hard to know, right?
The room to the north is actually from the east, spills beams of sunlight, but it's bluish and muted. You can see the collapsed tables and scattered chairs. Floorboards been dug up and heaped by the walls, revealing a pit of packed earth.
Okay.
It's illuminated by bluish sunlight coming through the windows, the large windows from the east of it. So I guess the east side has windows. Cool.
Can we see out the windows?
Yes. It's a garden. It looks outside to a garden, a walled garden, substantial. Predominant thing is the pit in the middle of the room, because the floorboards have been dug up and heaped by the walls, revealing a pit of packed earth with a stone sarcophagus lid laying at the bottom.
Wow.
And then a crowd of could only be described as phantoms, like gay court-like folk, appear, frolicking and raising glasses and toast, and invite you guys to join them, offering cups of ancient wisdom to drink from.
They didn't come out of the crypt in the middle of the floor, right?
No, they came out of the walls and the air surrounding. Laughing phosphorescent phantoms, frolicking and raising toasts, and some courtly dress of an unknown style.
Are there any exits from this room?
Well, you got windows that go out, but yes, in the southwest corner of the room, there's an archway west. Looks like it opens into something chapel-like.
So what happens if we don't say anything to these people? Because I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking at them.
They call you party poopers. Stay a while. Why are you in such a hurry?
We're on official business.
Why you always got to spoil a good time? It's people like you that make parties not fun.
Let's hug the south wall and go through the archway, I guess.
It's just the guy with the fishing pole. The room is 30 feet by 50, 50 north to south. At the north of it is a 30 by 50 room capping it. Does that make it kind of like a T? It must be the Chapel of Hounds because there's barking and howling noises coming from this cold, empty room. Frescoes on the wall depict hunting packs, feasting on sinners. There's a holy water basin at the southern end of the chapel. It's full of gnawed-on human bones. A simple stone cross is thrown down and broken. And there's pillars going north and south, forming a hallway down the middle of the room off of the basin, the holy water basin filled with bones.
Nice.
The howling noises, of course, are quite loud.
And they're coming from the north?
I know this room. Noisy! And there is, at that northern room, there is an open passageway, 10 feet wide corridor going west.
Gotcha. What's at the far end of this chapel? Like, is there something on the wall? Is there a lectern? Or
just more frescoes? Howling starts to be coming from dogs as you look at the frescoes start to solidify. Actually, their head is coming out of the wall. Howling. Snapping.
Does anyone have oil? It seems like a good thing to burn.
Let's rush through the archway to the west. See if we can
roll for initiative as you have more and more howling dogs coming out of the frescoes around you, surrounding you. Curry, you're up. They're trying to encircle you all.
Do these creatures count as summoned?
Don't know. Why is that?
Because protection from evil 10-foot radius means they can't touch us if they are, as long as we don't attack.
I moved to the exit of that room. They're wielding the torch to keep them at bay.
I'm moving towards the archway, and if they're still not moving out of the way as I move towards them, I'm obviously going to end up hitting them.
Yep.
I'm right with Toth. I'm staying tight to the party here.
Veridel, are you going to take advantage of the 10-foot ball of protection?
Yeah, I'm slinking along.
You come to an oblong room, longer east to west than north to south, 40 feet by 30 feet. The only apparent exit out of this room is an open archway to the south.
And what's in this room?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, it's empty.
Is it like smooth walls, like castle walls kind of thing?
Yeah, yep.
And no windows, no doors, just an oblong.
Just oblong. Well, there's an apparent archway exit in the south wall, but yeah, that is the only obvious exit out.
What do you say, gentlemen?
If Toth can hold the archway to the chapel so they won't come in, I'm going to move to the opposite side of the archway. Look for hidden doors there.
Roll your detect traps.
No, I failed.
So it just takes you a full 10 minutes to find it. But you do eventually find it.
Are the dogs still barking at us?
They're kind of growling and whining now. Their enthusiasm is dampened since they can't get down the passageway at you all.
Nice work, Toth.
I should let you know that the archway to the south, you can hear crackling. Not only hear crackling, but you can see bursts of eldritch energy coming off of heavy coils. You also see they got their backs to you, but some hunched figures in oilcloth working on the coils, doing something with the coils.
Well, we got to pick our battles, I guess.
Clad in oily leather overalls. So currently you are unnoticed because of the eldritch energy and the noise.
We need to be mindful of these guys on the way back, I think, don't we? Just in case the fat one tries to shout.
We could draw them into the room, and then we all run near you down the other hallway, and the dogs may or may not attack them.
It's an option, yeah. So is that where we're going, that door?
I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 10-foot wide passageway that goes 20 feet and opens up into a bigger room that your torch can illuminate only a portion of. There looks like immediately to the south, it was a blocked up and covered entryway, but it has been pulled apart, revealing a thick wooden door.
Supposedly the guy is behind this door.
Doorway was sealed up and forgotten a long time ago, but the brick has been pulled down. Yeah, and then you have the room farther west that you'd have to approach to illuminate further.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's press on.
Yeah, let's explore a bit further.
Okay, this room's large. It's octagon shaped except for the southern wall in the southeast corner is squared off. There's large acid vats bubbling by the walls, fed by intricate glass pipes. There's arcane diagrams inlaid into the floor. They gleam in copper and silver tones. The fluids boiling every once in a while give a loud retort.
Nice.
A tome bound in black silk and red leather rests on a reading podium, right in front of a huge mirror whose ebony black surf possesses a smoky aspect. And there's also a bookshelf.
This room's got a whole bunch of stuff that sounds pretty crazy. And we're just sort of standing in the doorway right now.
There is also a pale individual wearing striking star-embroidered blue robes and red slippers, stereotypical pointy wizard's hat, tending to a boiling flask of something.
I'm just going to say, hark, pointy-headed man. Why not, right? He's going to figure this out for later.
Where's the door? There was a wooden door.
Yeah, where's the door?
Probably the south.
3, 4, 5. 5 open archways going across the bottom of that room.
And a door. And a wooden door also.
Door is back outside the room. It was covered with bricks, but the bricks are all pulled down.
It's on the corridor?
Yes, that door is in the corridor.
Okay, so the guy we need to take into custody is behind the door, right? Behind that door to the south.
And then there's this guy in robes on experiment in the room.
We don't have to bother this guy. We just storm into the door and Lumen grasp the guy inside with his magic.
Who wants to open that door? I'll be ready to do some clutching.
I do it. Try it kindly if it's to see if it's locked.
It is.
I'm gonna work on the lock. Really? Okay, I have a 74. I'll roll an 89.
Group in the hallway catches the laboratory working wizard's attention. Hey! What there? Who there? Who let you roam the halls? Chattel?
I sneak around the corner right there, basically between the wall and that pillar, just right there to the northeast part of the room.
Acid vats.
Those are vats, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those
Got
are
it.
acid vats, yep.
I will be between, the vat and the corner of the wall right there, in case he makes a move.
Okay,
Glove on,
let's roll
as
initiative.
Sorry.
Right. I think he's a wizard, don't we? Okay. I think charge is probably in order here. I'm going to do the charge maneuver because I get extra damage from that, if memory serves correctly. 22.
It's actually armor class 23.
Oh, nice. So 7, 8, 9. 9 in total. And does the vertigo affect this one at all?
Yes, it does.
That will be 3 rounds worth of vertigo then. And then I'm AC 16 for the rest of the round.
Who's next? Is it Veridel on the initiative?
Yeah, so I guess my intent will be to sneak around and poke this guy.
Okay, if you pull off a move silently, Veridel, you can get a surprise attack.
Looks like I have 56 chance of move silently. So currently invisible. I will try to saunter over there. Let's see here. I do. I get 52 out of 56.
Okay, roll to attack with
Alright.
your surprise bonus.
Ooh, I rolled an 18, so that's a total of +6. All
It's
right.
full damage, double damage. It's your surprise sneak attack.
He needs to make a save versus death.
Assassinate.
He's going to make a save versus death. He saves.
All right. 10 damage.
Wah! Thieves! Sneaking thieves! Vermin!
Call out to this god, the hidden hand, and cast Spasm of Horror. He has to save, or else he sort of like falls on the ground and rise uncontrollably. So this big sort of glowing hand, sort of issues out of Lumen's hand and tries to wrap around this guy.
Rolled a 2.
I really thought you were going to say mini hands appear and start tickling him uncontrollably.
Friends.
Well, you get him. He fails. He rolled a 2. So he falls in the ground in the grip of your spell, cursing.
Yeah, he can still talk, but he has a 10% chance of losing all his spells for the day, if he has any.
He does. Okay, he rolled a 43. Unbind me, swine! Chattel casting magic in the halls? You and your family will be hunted down for generations for this insult, slave.
Is somebody going to put a large blade through his mouth and shut him up? Anybody? No?
It's my turn, so I can move and shove a piece of cloth into his mouth.
Okay.
I take his pointy hat and...
He's giving you his vampire fangs for taking his hat. I'll kill you for that. I'll torture you for 100 years.
I take a sock out of his foot and put it in his mouth.
Okay.
Hey, I got a vampire's wizard hat.
How long does this spell last?
1 to 4 turns.
I will roll that. So 10 to 40 minutes?
I'm wearing his hat now.
Yes, he's pissed about that.
Lumen's on the move. He's just sort of moving towards it. I know we had another round of initiative or whatever, but Lumen's heading over.
To the door?
To the creature.
Oh, to the creature, okay. Yep, he's staring at you angrily.
I pat him for anything, like coin or keys or...
Big spiky end. He's going to shove his stake, his quarterstaff, into this guy's heart. Boom.
He's got a ring.
Not anymore.
That's about the only attractive thing. Okay, it improves your armor class by 2.
Woohoo!
I'm hearing of chopping of heads and soaking in acid vats.
That's what we're doing, yes.
To this bound person or vampire?
Hands first. Chop, chop.
I mean, should we get this guy's name first somehow? Like, what is he? Are we sure he's not the one we were supposed to kidnap?
He's not fat.
Yeah, that's
right.
point.
He's skeletally thin.
Okay.
Good.
But I mean, it's also been 600 years since this guy's been around, right?
True.
Maybe he went on, Atkins or something.
Yep. Went on the Dorvit diet.
Yeah.
Volan diet.
Been doing low carb for 600 years.
Yeah. His head's in the vat.
I got his hands. Just saying.
Are you keeping them or what?
Yeah, they go in the bag, man.
Yeah. Okay. Write down that was a 12 hit dice creature.
Nice.
So we need to rack that one up.
Very nice.
That was going to be a long grind.
That was going to be a very long grind, wasn't it? Yeah. And a wizard.
I was feeling pretty good about a 10 damage. I was like, oh, I didn't quite do it, huh? Not quite.
No, 10 damage did not. It's a magic.
Yep, so Lumen staked it whilst it's bound. Chopped its head off. I think Lumen's cut off his hands for some strange reason and is keeping those. Mm-hmm. And then we've deposited the head and the body in different vats of acid.
That'll do it. That'll finish off a vampire.
What's the book, by the way? Do we know what the book is on the lectern?
You gonna flip it open?
I'm going to close it and look at the front if at all possible. I'd rather not flip through such obscene material.
It calls it. The title says the Tome of Learning.
Maybe the Dorvit might want that thing.
Might want to ask if he actually had a wizard or something when we get back to him as well.
A black mirror. Being in Jankula Antlex's home, you recognize his alchemy and demonology.
So when we get any of these for Antilex, or
And then then there's those small rooms to the south.
We could grab a couple of fancy looking ones just because.
yeah,
You're stuffing books?
yeah, chuck a couple in the sack, and then let's see if we can find the fat boy and sort that one out.
Conjuration and invocation. Ephemerality are probably the gems of what you grabbed out of the few books you grabbed.
Through the archways, or do we want to go to the door and see? That's because that's technically, I think that's where he is, isn't it? Through the door.
Let's try the door.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a conclusion just based on the vague directions that Dorvit gave us?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Cree failed to unlock it.
Yeah.
He did.
And we found no keys, right, on this
Yeah.
Wizard gate.
No.
Oh, we've got some acid. We can always burn the door off, can we?
Oh, let's pick. I'm gonna get some acid on a glass vial and pour it on over the lock.
Okay. That does it. You are able to eat the lock away. It takes 10
Okay.
minutes. Nothing comes during this time.
Well, Logan's going to, sort of hang out near the edge of it while somebody else opens the door, and I'm going to be ready to cast, a clutch spell on if we see something in there.
The interior is bare and simple. There's a blackened silver brazier supported by 4 legs depicting hooded cobras. That's cool. That's in the middle of the floor. There's 3 wooden sarcophagi carved from brightly painted wood lie against the walls. So one on the east wall, one on the west wall, and one on the south wall.
What do you say? Let's start flipping some. You guys in? You guys want to see what's inside of these things? To get into position where we got somebody on one side, somebody on the other, somebody opening it.
You said they're brightly painted. Are there any markings on them?
Yeah, there's a lot of strange markings on them.
Are they laying flat?
No, they're leaning up against the wall.
They're leaning up against the wall. At the angle, between the wall and maybe the middle or middle to the bottom of each of them? Or are they flat against the wall at a...
Oh, dead space.
angle?
Yeah, they're leaned. They're leaned. And the 2 on the east and west, the coffin lids opened up.
Is it they're actively opening?
Actively opening by desiccated corpses
Great.
with ruby eyes, wrapped in rotten bandages, had been embalmed.
There's no other exit to this room, right?
No, there is not. No apparent exit out of this room.
Anyone with a torch? Stab it now.
Yeah, they're his guardians. Toth, as usual, fast out of the gate.
Nice dice. Nearest one to me. I am going to shove my torch onto it and then basically try and close the door again if at all possible. If not, I'm just going to try and set it on fire.
Yeah, they stepped out.
It's Mummy 1, Varadel, and Lumin next.
All right, Veridel. What do you got?
So I'm still invisible. I'm going to make my way over to the one that didn't open. And is the frame and the lid such that I could drive spikes, one on each side, through the lid and down into the frame?
Yeah, it's wood.
I'm going to do that and keep that one closed.
Lumen's he's gonna raise his hands up and he's gonna say, "Face the wall, you freaks of nature." He's gonna try to turn them. He's got a +4 to turn. I just want them to sort of cease and desist and.
I can turn undead as half my level.
Well, now
second level character, no chance.
Well, now I know to vary hit dice.
Is it a 20 unmodified or is it a 20 with the +4?
Where does the +4 come from?
The Praetor's Hand.
Oh, no, you get the pluses on the Praetor's Hand, of course.
So it's a 16 or better.
Yep.
All right, I got to give it a try, guys.
Do
I
it.
got to let the hand speak. 18.
What?
Nice.
They retreat back to their coffins and close the lid. One is smoking like a cooker, like a Dutch oven or something.
All right, Veridel, you got to take those too, man.
Yeah, except I just used my last 2.
Well, as long as we don't mess with them, they're going to stay in there for a while, I think.
I've been running low on resources.
As you're pounding in steaks, a hand does punch through the wood coffin lid. You are surprised, Veridel, so he's going to try to grab. The hand is going to grab you.
It can't see me.
It can't see you, but it's going to be a -4. There we go. How's that?
I can live with that. I can
live with that. Okay.
That was as far as I was going to push it, but I can live with that.
It gets an 8, and the hand misses you. We got to do initiative again, guys.
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't do anything.
okay.
Yeah. So when I see the hand push through the coffin, I'm gonna approach and throw a flask of oil inside.
What if this is the guy we have to kidnap, though?
We just well, he will be drenched in oil.
Just scald him a bit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Slightly crispy.
He would last a couple turns. We could let him burn.
All right, I see. Yeah,
We can use a
cover it in
torch.
oil and then threaten.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's 16. He can see me. That's a 19. I don't know if it counts as a sneak because he can see me.
And that's
20.
pouring oil into the hole where he punched through. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, I threw it so it breaks and it drenching him.
I need initiative from the rest of you guys. Shouldn't be too hard to beat this fucker. Lumen, what's your action?
Just come running forward with his big stake, and he's going to jam it down through the top of this sarcophagus right into the heart of this thing.
We need to capture him.
Calling it a called shot.
+6, so that's a +2. Oh, don't worry, I didn't get it. I got a 6. Don't worry, they can come back to life after the stake, man. Okay, it just immobilizes them.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to drag him like a freaking marshmallow down the hall and dump him at the feet. You hear what I'm saying?
Toth, your action.
I don't really have anything to stake the guy with. Okay, so Kreese chucked the oil.
The coffin lid. The oil is running down his arm.
I'll bring my torch across to the coffin and hold it there and say, cease.
Let me out of here. What's the meaning of this?
Surrender.
You have been called forth, fiend, and you will be hearkened until the actions of your past.
I will come forth, but it'll not be to surrender.
Okay.
So he'll do the break out thing. Kree, did I skip you?
Oh.
You got a 4?
4. This is the part where we set him on fire.
Yeah, he has no intention of surrendering.
Is he a big guy?
Yeah, it's the biggest coffin in the room.
Is this the guy that we're trying to...
Yeah.
I just show the torch.
Mm-hmm. Roll damage.
What's D6, right?
1d8 for the oil.
6.
Any howls and pain?
I'm going to step away from him, and I'm going to start tying my rope into, kind of a big looped slip knot, like a lasso.
The general vampire's action is to break free from his coffin. Toth, as usual.
I do like these dice. Right. I'm hitting him with the autumn sword and
Natural 20?
Just there. That will be a natural 20.
Let's see.
Give me some percentile dice. Roll a percentile.
Yeah.
I got a new table I want to try.
8.
What are you using for a weapon?
It's
The autumn sword?
The autumn sword, yeah.
You impaled him. You stuck him. You stuck him back down into the coffin.
So he can burn a little more.
Yep, he'll have to take his action to try to get free of that.
Am I still rolling my D8 plus 2?
Mm-hmm.
For damage.
Mm-hmm.
9.
Okay, he puts up his hands. I yield! Dishonorable assassins!
Right. Lumen, you're going to stake him.
I'm
Then
staking
we'll
him.
carry him. Yeah, then we'll carry him through.
Yeah, I'm just going to lean into it while he's back there. Just steering him through. And then if you want to carry half of him, we can do the whole, 2 poles and him hanging in the middle.
Okay, we can do that, I suppose. Yeah, as long as everyone stays within 10 feet, we should be okay walking back out again.
Nice message to Dorvit, like what could wait for him. You know what I'm saying? His worst nightmare.
I think his worst nightmare will be coming home to find Daydream dead.
Well, that could be arranged.
Okay, it's not too hard to find the curtain wall and the gatehouse because there's a lot of activity and noise coming from it.
So, just to clarify, are we about to walk into a nest of vampire soldiers, no less, with their current commander staked and wrapped around a big pole?
Yep, you are.
Awesome. Just clarifying that one.
Oh, we're anemic.
Yeah, you're outside. You are now moving at too fast of a clip to map.
But are we going back the way we came?
You're following along with troops that are occupants of the castle are moving out where the gatehouse is. That's how you find your way outside. There we go. Oh yeah, you fucking beat him up good. And there's Dorvit on the ramparts of the gatehouse, declaring that the Lord of Sunset Spires has returned. Swear your allegiance or throw down your arms. A bunch of troops are cheering. Yeah, Dorvit! And some other guards, vampires, are getting beat up and getting roughed up. And then everyone parts to allow you to come through with General Paul D'Avor strung like a pig. There's growling.
He's smoking too. He's like smoking.
He's smoking a bit, yep. And he's like, excellent, gentlemen. Here's the valorous knights. They're going to aid us in our victory over the bishop. And everyone's like, yeah. They take General Paul D'Avor off your hands, the fat bastard. He calls General Ivas a traitor to his kind. Dorvit a has-been. And him and some of his loyal soldiers are locked in the donjon down below. So now it's Council of War time to figure out their next move, which you gentlemen are invited. And Dorvit and Lieutenant General Ivas are in we'll call it the map room, where you're looking upon the surrounding terrain, which appears to be the Sunset Spires is in a vast plain with these long, straight channels that cut across the land. And toward the northeast on the map of the Sunset Spires, on the other side of a channel going north to south, is the Baths Zazak Zard.
What are these channels, like canals or something?
Yeah, canals. A canal is a better word. The Sunset Spires has one directly underneath it running east to west. That one has a name on it, the Olt Channel. The one that's going north to south is called the Tiza Channel. And the land between the Sunset Spires and the Baths of Zazkazard are called the Gardens of Garvalde. Between the Sunset Spires and the Tiza Channel is a range of raggedy hills that run in northeast to southwest direction. They call those something. But on either end of them are passes large enough to move substantial amounts of troops. If tradition serves us right, if we head out in force, the bishop is sure to release his two divisions. One will take the north pass and one will take the south pass to make sure neither one is flanked. And once they get a fix on their opponent, they will try to congregate and meet and force battle and overwhelm us with numbers. So my intent is to draw them out and draw out his forces while my boys, me, and General Ivas sneak into the baths, break the mirror, and kill the bishop.
Sounds easy.
Sounds easy. Yeah, simple plan.
Once we do that, we should be able to round up my troops loyal to me from my division at the baths, and then we can leave in force and force a surrender of the now leaderless divisions of the Pale. That's his plan. What do you think, guys?
Sounds okay.
What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
Oh, ride with us, and then when it's time to split off, we'll go through the ragged spires there that no one travels through and no one thinks to move an army through because it's too rugged. Sneak into the bishop's baths, his fortress, and kill him like assassins in the night.
Speaking of killing things, did you have like a court wizard or anything at some point?
No, I didn't, but...
Kree wearing the hat still?
I take off the hat and hide it behind my back.
Dorvit and Nivas are like internally grateful for taking out the general's pet wizard. He can be troublesome. That was Paul Deavor's wizard.
Do we know what he's going to do or did do with Paul Deavor?
Oh, they put him in the dungeon with the soldiers that are loyal to him, and they're just made prisoners. Being treated humanely. Dorvit orders no repercussions. No revenge killings. We are knights of gore, are we not?
The wizard had a mirror in his place. Couldn't that be used to sneak upon the place we want to go?
Very possible. Very possible. Let's go investigate this. Ivas with me. Dorvit and Ivas follow you. Dorvit says these guys are part of the Death Lush, so no feeding often the friendly humans. Dorvit lets known that you guys are not to be touched.
We just go, these off limits.
Mm-hmm. Some wonder why Dorvit's trucking around with cattle and treating them as equals. Others are saying, shut up, don't backtalk Lord Dorvit. So they're racist. Racist vampires.
Yeah, they know what we can do now.
They can chop up the wizard.
Right.
Dorvit thinks that with a little bit of research, he can probably manipulate this gate to deliver them at least outside the spa. He wouldn't dare try to port into the baths because he's sure that the bishop probably has security against that or would become immediately aware of someone transporting through that mirror into his castle. So he's thinking he probably should do it on the outskirts. At least get on the other side of the west side of the Tiza channel.
Okay. Yeah, if it shortens the
Oh, definitely. Definitely. We don't have to ride with the troops. We don't have to keep track of recon. That's their problem. So he tells Ivas to